Good afternoon and welcome to this week's Market Carver. I hope you're having an outstanding day, and happy Father's Day for those of you on the 21st that are fathers. Happy summer for the rest of us. Hopefully the weather continues to be nice and good things continue to happen for the year. So we have some economic challenges, some things that we've got to cover today. You know, from the narrative part of the world, those things that we look at are major economic changing events, and some of them have dates on them. We know when they're going to happen, and some are simply big surprises. You may have heard a word HELOC. It stands for Home Equity Line of Credit, that people would take out against their house. To a degree, something like a second mortgage, if you will. Now, there were a lot of those mortgages taken out in the early 2000s, all the way up through 2007 through the Great Debacle in 2008, and then they really died down. Most of the HELOCs were written in a way where you had a interest-only payment due for the first 10 years. So you could pay extra if you wanted to, but all that was required was interest. At the end of 10 years, all of a sudden your payment more than doubled, because now you were having to pay that payment off over a given period of time, either the next 10 or 20 years, depending on the lender. So some of us got these wonderful surprises in the mail. It was 2015 when people refied their homes. All of a sudden, here we are in 2005 rather. Here we are in 2015, and voila, the payments are much larger. That pulls discretionary income out of people's budgets. That's what we have to pay attention to for our portfolio. From the financial system world, though, we have to look at this chart that's up in front of your screen right now, and what it shows is the amount of home equity lines of credit, the HELOCs, that are in default. That's the blue line. And then 4 months later, after the payment rises, look at the percentage of them that go into default then. Much larger, and in very quick, and 4 months seems to be the key thing. So this isn't like a surprise to the financial services industry. It's been happening since 2001. Numbers are priced in, but it is important for us to watch, especially understanding what happens to the U.S. consumer when those changes take place. Now, last week, moving to the equity and bond markets, last week was the first time in 2015 that we saw both bonds and equity sell off. About $12 billion was withdrawn from the marketplace over the last week, and that led to some inefficiencies inside of the bond market. We've talked on the radio show, the newspaper column, here on the Market Carver about the problem with the bond market changing the way that it has. And what we want to look for are opportunities to be able to take advantages of things. We've talked about closed-end mutual funds before. Remember, open-ended mutual funds, the ones that most people have in their 401k, are when you put money in, there's a manager. When you want money out, it comes from him. A closed-end fund, on the other hand, is when you put your money in, you've got a manager who's managing things that are inside of there. He tells you at the end of the day what it's worth, but if you want out, you have to find another buyer to sell it. So unlike an open-ended mutual fund that always changes hands at net asset value, closed-end funds tend to trade at either premiums or discounts. And what we want to look for in inefficient markets is to find a place where those closed-end funds are trading at large discounts. We're able to buy them, not in mass, about 2.5% of the value of the portfolio. We buy what we can, let that discount kind of grow back up to get close to the net asset value, take our profits and call it a day. We just did that again, and we'll continue to stay on the look. In times of inefficient markets, it's wonderful opportunities that exist. So we've talked about bonds, and you may remember 2013, it was a really ugly period of time for bonds. We kept referring to it as the 1994. Every time we would go back, bond market hasn't seen anything this bad since 1994. Well, now the chart that you've got on the screen in front of you shows 2015 is just like 1994. We don't have to compare it where they say it was the worst in 94. We are there now. The bond market is in a very volatile period of time as people worry about interest rates rising. 30-year mortgage is back up above 4% for the first time in a while, and as a result, mortgage applications fell about 8.9% in the last 30 days. So it's one of those interesting periods of time that we've got to pay attention to. We'll continue to talk a little bit about it on the radio. If you'd like to get a chance to listen, don't forget you can find me on Saturday mornings on WQME from 9 to 10, Shine 99 on Sunday mornings from 10 to 11, and of course, good old WILO 4 to 5 o'clock Thursday afternoons. If there's anything we can do to be of service, please don't hesitate to give us a call. Have a great day. God bless. We'll see you again next time.